We're back. Clayton's away on vacation, so we've been slacking on the content. I don't feel like I've picked up a camera in weeks now, it seems. But we did manage to get the drag car to the track. We were short-staffed for our regular crew that we usually have at the track with us, so we barely got any footage at all. Thankfully, Connor was along with us. I think Robbie got one clip and Connor snapped a few shots as well. So we did make it. We only got 3 runs, I think, in total. It was on a Thursday night. It was a big NHRA drag racing event with a lot of big cars. We were probably the only import there, and also definitely the only front-wheel drive car there. However, we just went to go get some testing. She came back all in one piece. A few things that we kind of messed up on while we went. I had the car on the dyno a few weeks ago, and we had changed. I don't think I filmed much of this, but we added I know I mentioned in a previous video, we added another coolant line to the car just to kind of help with coolant pressure and stuff like that. So, and cooling and all that. The 16 valve head has a coolant outlet on this side of the cylinder head and on the front. So we added another line there. We put it on the dyno, and when we added that, before I get on about the dyno, when we added that, it kind of changed where the dipstick goes down. It's very, very tight squeeze. Put it on the dyno, and of course the dipstick, where we had to bend it and broke it and all that stuff, it had leaked, and I had taken note of that mentally and ordered a new dipstick so we could change it. And of course we get to the track, it's 3.5 hours away. We make the very first launch with the car, first one this season, and of course the dipstick was all split and leaked, just exactly as it did on the dyno when I was supposed to fix it. Luckily, we were able to bandage that up, but we'll show you that first clip here. So I had intended with that pass to only do a first and second gear pull, just basically to make sure the thing didn't bog like the previous runs that we've been having with this thing. As you can see, it didn't bog, and as soon as I shifted into second, I just decided to run it a little bit further. I had changed some stuff. I had modified the gears and the dogs in 4th gear. I had machined them. I had mentioned that in another video, so I kind of wanted to make sure it would go through all the gears and all that stuff. So I went, I think that pass was like a 1030 at 144. That would have been the fastest I have been in this car, mile an hour wise, and I think ET actually. Although we plan on going a lot faster with this thing, it was the first time actually getting it all the way down the track, hammering through all the gears. So semi-success, I guess, in that regard. But the main reason we were there was just to kind of dial in short track and get a few 60-foot hits, basically. So after that first run that you've seen, we came in, obviously, you've seen the smoke. We had lots of oil to clean up. Luckily, I didn't oil the track down, which is what I was most afraid of. I got to the end of the track, and Robbie and Clayton came down, and I thought I'd honestly oiled the whole thing down because I'd seen how much oil was over the windshield and all the smoke and stuff like that. But luckily, the catch pan, everything did its job. They were running cars right after me. There was no oil down, thank God. So with that, we had to fix the dipstick, and Robbie, I didn't even see what Robbie did. Robbie spent a bunch of time cleaning everything up. As you can see, there's still some oil in there. But I have this like weird, I don't have any left, but this tape that essentially sticks to itself. It's like this rubberized kind of tape. It's not sticky or anything, but it sticks to itself. I have no idea what it's called. But it's really good for, you know, bandaging up coolant leaks and oil leaks, especially at the track. And that's what we did. So Robbie got all that cleaned up. We were able to get back out, make another pass. 60 foot got a little bit better. Still spinning like crazy. The key main things from the couple days that we were, or sorry, from the couple hours that we were there, not days, we were able to stage the car very well and do burnouts properly. Those are things that we were kind of fighting with in the past, but all of that has been kind of figured out, which is good. And then the 60 foot, we got some good data in regards to trying to dial that in. So we've skipped the bogging now. We're just basically blowing the tires off the thing. But that's giving us good data. So I'll show you the next two runs, I guess. I think we have footage from the next two runs. So let's get to that. So the next run was literally just first and second gear. Short track, the 60 foot was a little bit better, but still spinning like crazy. And we have a very short window being there. So I drove basically 4 hours to get there. And Thursday night was the only testing we could do. And because it was an NHRA weekend, if we decided to try to get into the event for some sportsman class or something like that, we likely only would have got 1 to 2 runs during the day. That was on Thursday. Friday was already scheduled to be complete rain out that day, so we just decided to run on Thursday and then pack it up and come home Friday morning because Saturday and Sunday were going to be, you know, like I said, very minimal runs for us. But we got the data we wanted. So the next event that we have for this, we got the 60 foot down, I think a 1.7 or something like that. Still trash, but for where we want to be, but it's pointed in the right direction, and without the bogging and stuff, we got some good data. So I came in here today, this is Saturday, and all I've been doing is scrubbing the data to try to figure out what we need to do to prevent the spinning, which is a lot easier to do than the constant bogging that I was dealing with before. Because the bogging just breaks stuff, as you guys would have seen. It broke a lot of stuff in the transmission. And now we're headed in the right direction. We're ready for the next event. There's probably a few more things I want to mention on this. One other thing I'll add is the mirror delete catch can vent thing that we built. That thing worked perfectly, honestly. I don't think I have any footage of it running with or at the track with it venting as it should be, but I didn't notice any weird smells or anything like that in the car. Again, we have some foam in there so that when the door shuts, it's sealed. I guess the only thing that I picked up on it is that when we're in the staging lanes and I have the doors open, obviously I can smell it then if the door's open and the wind's blowing a certain way and blowing that in, where we used to have it mounted at the back of the car, you wouldn't smell that. That's the only thing I really picked up on, but for regular burnouts, doing a run down the track, anything like that, no crankcase oil smell or anything like that getting into the cabin. So that's a plus. Clayton did a great job with that. And with that said, we probably showed a clip of it in the last video. We did get a pretty decent 3D scanner. I have some content of that, building some stuff for the 07K that we did with scanning the engine bay, some of the engine bay and stuff like that. Anyways, you guys will see that in an upcoming video. One thing we do have coming up, which I'll show you guys, we have a Mark III. I know they're a rare bird here. There's not many Mark IIIs around on the road anymore. In fact, with that said, I hosted our largest, we host our largest Volkswagen Audi event here. We would have posted videos, short videos of that on the channel before, called MVOC. That was last weekend, and again, Clayton and Kayla are away on vacation, so we didn't get any footage really of that. It was we were very short-staffed in trying to put that event together, and it was all last minute. I wasn't even going to have it this year just because I'm so busy. But we managed to happen, and I do appreciate everybody that came out to the event and supported it. It was a great turnout. It was a beautiful day. There was one Mark III there, the whole entire, I didn't bring the drag car. There was only one Mark III there at the total event, which is kind of crazy. There's just not many of these cars left. With that said, we have this one coming up. We'll probably do some more content on it. It's VR turbo, as you guys can see. And it's running Fuel Tech 550. The turbo setup is pretty basic. It's like a Rev 9 turbo. The guy mostly built this himself over multiple years. It's finally time to try to get some tuning done on it, so that's why it's here. So you'll see some of that coming up. In regards to the drag car, we do have an event coming up this next weekend, but it's at our local track, which isn't as good for a front-wheel drive car like this. So we're going to bring the Mark 7R. For those that have followed along for a while, I built the salvage Mark 7R, made a bunch of horsepower in it. I've replaced the windshield in it now so we can actually bring it to the track. So coming up probably in the next video will be some content on that. As for everything else in the shop, it's regular, it's busy season. I keep saying I don't know if I usually do that in this video, but I'm trying to piece together with a little bit of footage that we got from the track to show you guys that we're getting out there. It's just, again, with Clayton and Kayla on vacation, more specifically Clayton in this case, for filming, it makes it tough for me to try to get to the event and film and get the car ready and all that stuff. So with that said, thank you Connor and Robbie for getting us to the track this time, making at least some passes. We did, I think, low 10s, a couple low 10s with it. Nothing to write home about, but it's progress nonetheless. And we have our big Sport Compact event coming up in a few weeks, about a month, I think, from now. And we hope to really be ready for that. I may even try to get to the track for a rental or something like that if we can, to dial it in a little bit more. But it came back unscathed. We got to fix the leak with the dipstick and hammer out the tune a little bit more. Hopefully you guys will see more of that as Clayton will be back before we get to the next event with this thing. If you guys have any questions or comments about this one, the Mark III VRT that's coming up, or recently, as you guys would see, my daily driven all-wheel drive 07K turbo. I've been driving that to and from work now for the last week or so. The thing sounds amazing. It's still not tuned. That's coming up. Can't wait to make some horsepower with it. Enough of me babbling. See you guys in the next video.